Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE SmackDown episode 1080 and 205 Live episode 177, both broadcast on May 1st, 2020. So this episode, I didn't get around to watching it until Sunday. I knew some of the results, mainly the Money in the Bank qualifiers. And I was kind of surprised how quickly this episode went by when I did watch it. Part of it might be because I'm used to watching it with commercials, but also it didn't seem like there were a lot of different things that happened as far as different segments. We had lots of, quite a few matches that had some really good time to them. And I think that helped make the episode feel like it was like just moving along and all that. But we opened up with Daniel Bryan coming out talking about the Money in the Bank ladder match that will take place at the WWE headquarters. He confirms it for us that both the men's and women's matches will be happening at the same time. And then he calls out Baron Corbin because he wants a piece of him, because Baron Corbin took out his trainer, his partner, his friend, Drew Gulak. So we get Baron Corbin versus Daniel Bryan. Corbin gets disqualified for using a ladder. Cesaro and Shinsuke come out there, cause some trouble. I think Sammy had some type of surgery, relatively minor surgery recently. I think it was having his wisdom teeth out. So I think that's why he's not with his pals there. We don't have an Intercontinental Championship presence at the moment, but I think that's okay. All this is the main focus is this ladder match. We don't need to fill the card with too many other matches, I don't think. But yeah, that whole beatdown happens, and then before the commercial break, we don't hear them talk. This is why I missed it when I watched it the first time. But I saw like GIFs of it and everything. It's like, wait, when did that happen? It was right before the commercial break. Alexa Bliss gives Braun Strowman a Bliss Cross applesauce shirt. So that was a fun little interaction without any audio that we could hear from them. But Braun comes out and he starts to speak, and he gets about 4 words into it when Bray Wyatt interrupts. He reads a story from a storybook called The Black Sheep, and Braun doesn't enjoy that, and Bray just says bye. Okay, it was a fun segment. I just don't remember the specifics of it. Then we had Sheamus versus Leon Ruff, who I've talked about before in his previous appearances. There is no longer a Leo Rush in the company, so it is kind of strange. I thought at first, like, it's weird that he has such a similar name that sounds like a Paw Patrol version of, like, if you just heard the name, you would think, oh, that's a Paw Patrol wrestler that's modeled after Leo Rush, but nope, it's an actual wrestler. And Sheamus destroys him. He hits him with that Irish backbreaker like 4 or 5 times, and he like just keeps a hold of him the entire time. It's like he's playing with a rag doll, like literally, like just throwing him around like it's nothing. So Sheamus wins, of course, and then he goes over to Michael Cole. It's like, yeah, why don't we were you about to talk about Jeff Hardy? Yeah, let's take a look then. Let's watch this. And you imagine he's just standing there the whole time during this comeback video, because he's still there after it. And he says, well, Jeff Hardy's going to be back next week. I'm also going to be back next week. So Jeff Hardy, watch out. Watch out. It's hard to miss this gigantic guy. So, try to avoid him. He's going to beat you up. Then we had a Money in the Bank qualifier match, Carmella versus Mandy Rose. Right before this, Mandy and Otis get interviewed, and I forget what they said. during that interview. But during this match, Sonya interrupts. She's feigning encouragement for her best friend. This whole time she's like up on the entrance ramp, and she's just talking all kinds of trash. It's like, oh, remember when I helped you? I carried you up the ladder and you still lost the match and all this kind of stuff. It was really good. And then she doubles up on the B words by saying, "Karma's a bitch," and then she attacks Mandy. This is after the match. Carmella takes advantage of that distraction, wins, secures a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then Sonya beats the crap out of Mandy. Backstage, Mandy's getting checked out by the doctors. Otis approaches her and asks if she's okay. The doctor's like, I just need a few more minutes to get out of here. So Otis leaves, and then he runs into Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler's, is Mandy okay? And then Otis is just really mad. And then later on, Dolph is getting hyped up, talking to Sonya before his qualifier match against Otis. So, yeah, all that great story for these guys all throughout this episode. They have the New Day versus Forgotten Sons. Forgotten Sons win their match and earn their way, I think it's directly or indirectly as a result of winning this match, earn their way into a fatal four-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We had Miz and Morrison on commentary. At one point, they were getting annoyed with each other. Morrison was getting annoyed with The Miz for not working out enough, and The Miz is like, well, I have to take care of my kids in the mornings, so I can't work out as much. So, the cracks are forming more and more. That's pretty interesting. Then next up, Tamina interviewed backstage, and Sasha approaches her, is like praising her, is like really thankful, and Bayley tries to attack from behind, but Tamina hears her coming, turns around, grabs her, but Sasha attacks. It's a double team. They take Tamina down, but then in comes Lacey Evans, and it's a big old brawl that breaks out. And then that brings us to our main event, Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Otis wins this match to earn a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I am really excited for that because mainly the main reason is that there has to be, they're in an office building. Office buildings have walls. They definitely can construct some walls that can be destroyed for the purpose of this match, etc. Etc. I said etc. I said it really weird. But anyway, Otis shares a catchphrase and a body shape as a very well-known character from commercials all the way back through the 80s, maybe back in the 70s. I don't know how long. The Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. He just bursts through the wall. There's got to be at least one moment when that happens. Or it just happens every time he comes into the room. Instead of using the door, he just bursts through the wall. Oh, yeah. And then everybody's like, hey, Kool-Aid, or hey, Otis, etc. And it's going to be even more crazy that this is happening at the same time. Otis could burst into the room. It could, not just in the men's match when men are fighting, but the women's part of the matches, he could just burst into those rooms and burst through the wall. Oh, yeah, and then does his whole dance thing, and then he just leaves. And then the women are like, what is happening? It'd be great. But it has to at least happen once, I hope. I really hope. So there you go. I enjoyed this episode of SmackDown. I'd say that main event was really worth watching. And Carmella versus Mandy was pretty good. Mainly for Sonya's trash talk. I think Sonya's trash talk and then the beatdown afterwards was the best part of this whole episode. It was really good. And then the whole thing at the beginning, Daniel Bryan is so great. His whole thing at the beginning was really good too. And then over on 205 Live, I didn't actually watch the matches, but I did skim through to see which matches the Singh brothers chose. It was another Matches That Made Me episode. And first, they chose the Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart was defending his championship at WrestleMania 12 against Shawn Michaels in an Iron Man match. They did not show the entire hour of the Iron Man match. They cut out, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes here and there. But I did skim through some of it. I watched like the beginning and the end of it. And yeah, that's a great match. I think I may have seen it before. But yeah, if you can just pull up WrestleMania 12 and watch the entire thing without any parts taken out. That's the main reason why I was when I started to skim through, and then I saw that the timer skipped ahead. When I saw that the timer skipped ahead, as I was skimming through to see how much of it that they put in there, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to watch it in this version. I can go back and watch the whole thing later. And then they also chose their own match from this past July 2018, Lucha House Party versus the Singh Brothers in a tornado tag team match. So that was, I remember that being a really cool match, and I may have actually even been there for that match. I don't remember. I don't know which episode it was from. They said the exact date, but I didn't write that down. Also, that Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart lost the championship to Shawn Michaels. So there you go. Spoiler for that match. When was WrestleMania? That was 87. 97. Was 23 years ago. That's what happened 23 years ago. Sorry. So yeah, that's it. Real quick, talking about all these matches. There was no presence, at least that I saw. Maybe I totally missed it and it just snuck in there. There's no presence of the Hacker in this episode, so hopefully that's not on the back burner right now. Or it was this week anyway, but hopefully we see a little bit of that next week, especially in regards to, I think they might be instigating the Miz and Morrison stuff. So I think we might get more of that before Money in the Bank. It'll make sense for next Friday that we get something revealed so that they are very on edge next Sunday. That could work pretty well. But yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all for these two episodes. She is on SmackDown, but Becky Lynch, as she was on the season premiere of Billions. I do not watch that show, but that's really cool that she was on a really critically acclaimed show like that, or like a well-regarded show. I mean, it'd be really cool if she was on any show in general, but for it to be like that caliber of show is even cooler. So I've been looking out. I haven't been trying really hard to find it, but I've been keeping an eye out for actual clips. I've only seen like photos from the set and stuff. But yeah, that was really cool. And then Westworld season finale was this weekend, and it was awesome. This whole season is awesome. I'm really glad. I've talked about Westworld a little bit before, but I'm really glad that I watched season 2 all at once right before season 3 started. Because if I had finished season 2 like back when it aired, I'm not sure I've been as excited about it. And I probably would have rewatched it anyway and then gotten re-excited. So it would have been fine. But that experience of watching that whole season and then going right into season 3 was really cool. And my washing machine is making really loud noises right now as it's on the spin cycle. But yeah, Westworld, awesome. And I hope we don't have to wait as long for season 4 as we had to wait for season 3. Although I personally didn't actually really wait that long for season 3 because, like I said, I watched season 2 for the first time like the week before. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Go check it out. Also watch Devs, a really good show. And then I found Better Than Human. I haven't started watching it, but it's a Russian show that has similar themes to Almost Human, or Better Than Us. That's what it's called. Almost Human, and no, not Almost Human. Real Humans and Humans, the U.S. remake, or the U.S./UK remake. It's a lot. There's a lot of British actors in there too. And then Almost Human, starring Michael Ealy, who is in this season of Westworld. So all this stuff is like interrelated and all that. But yeah, if you like all those themes, and Devs has a lot of similar themes as far as computing and stuff like that. But yeah, go check all of that out. It's awesome. Okay, that's it. Oh, one more recommendation: Bad Education, starring Hugh Jackman, on HBO. It's pretty good. It is not the trailer for it. I was like, oh, this looks really, really great, really funny, really snarky, and all that kind of thing. It's not. The trailer has like the snarkiest moments. It's quite a bit more serious. That, I mean, it does have snark to it, but it's not like a Vice or what's it called, the big what was it, the big something. Why can't I remember the name of that movie? I like it more than Vice, way more than Vice. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of that movie. The Big something, The Big Short. That's what it is. The Big Short. Anyway, it's not as like it's not that it's not on that level of amount of it being comedy. It's a bit more serious than that. But yeah, it's basically about a superintendent, early 2000s superintendent in a school district in Long Island that along with his the assistant superintendent, or whatever her title was, they together stole something like $14 million over many years. It wasn't all at once, but over many years they embezzled and stole $14 million or so from the school district, which is insane. So yeah, but it's totally worth checking out. It's a real thing that happened. So I feel like that's not really a spoiler to tell you that it is information that unfolds throughout the film. So if you don't know the real story, then you do find that out throughout the film, and it is a reveal in the film. But there you go. Okay, that's it. Let me know what you thought about all of that stuff that I just talked about by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.